cutest and fiercest creature that lives in the African bush. We have a bundle of lion cubs just for you to enjoy. Aren't they absolutely incredible? Their mothers have caught a kudu. Most of it has already been finished, but the cubs are now devouring what is left of it. So a little bit gory, but still amazing to watch. Oh, just listen to the sounds they're making. Fierce predators. That lioness is not happy with them. She's got a full stomach, she's just been hunting, and all she wants to do is lie down and sleep and give herself a clean. And now the cubs are irritating her. Now, although she's making a very scary face at them, she would never ever hurt them in a serious way. She's growling, scaring them away, but it doesn't seem to be working very well, does it? They are not in the slightest bit bothered by her lack of interest in them. Oh, they even want to come in for a bit of a cuddle and a head rub. See, even though she is capable of taking down an enormous buffalo, she is still phenomenally gentle with the cubs, even when she's cross with them, and she's basically shouting at them, disciplining them, telling them not to irritate her or to be in her personal space. But she does it really, really gently, so it looks scary, and there's lots of growling and rumbling, but ultimately totally gentle when she pushed that cub away. Oh, and they're all gathering together now in one pile of lion cubs. This is so amazing. It doesn't matter how many times you see these amazing little creatures. It never ever gets old. There's definitely two different age groups here. So two different moms. You'll be able to see that just in terms of the difference in size. We've got an older set of cubs and a younger set of cubs. And Laken, these lions were found. We actually followed their tracks for quite a long time as we drove along. We didn't find them. We already knew that they were here, but somebody managed to find them by following their footprints. Now, you wanted to know on the subject of the footprints what the difference is between a leopard and a lion track. The answer is, Laken, it's size difference. A lion track is about, just to give you a sort of a basic answer, is about double the size of a leopard track. Sorry, the cubs are being noisy again. Let's just listen. Already, at only 3 months of age, they are already pretty much only eating meat. They are totally weaned. Have to fight for their right to a piece of the carcass as Mom eats away. Sorry, Laken. The answer is a leopard track is about half the size of a lion track. Now, a leopard track is probably about the size of a lion cub's track, but you know immediately whether you're looking at a leopard or a lion cub. First of all, because the shape is slightly different, but most importantly, because you'll never find a lion cub walking on its own. So if you see one set of tracks, because we know leopards live on their own, and we know lions live in groups, in prides, or if they are males, in a coalition, we know that they will always have other tracks with them. Their noises are so adorable. They are so cute. Now, although the lion has a fearsome reputation, and that lioness just gave us a clear indication as to why, with her sharp teeth growling at the little cubs, The most dangerous of the big five is not a lion. It is, in fact, just in terms of statistics. So, Tate, you were wondering about which of the big five is the most dangerous. The answer is the buffalo. The buffalo is the most dangerous of the big five, or at least responsible for the most human accidents. And that one of the biggest reasons is because if they decide to charge, they usually go through with it. Whereas with lions and leopards and even elephants to a big extent, if they decide to charge you, they usually warn you first. So it's up to you to move out of their space if you have upset them in some way. Lionesses are much, much more dangerous than the male lions. They also, especially when they've got cubs, they become far more dangerous. But even then, if you encroach on their space, if you upset them in some way, maybe you've come across them on foot by mistake, they'll growl at you and they'll let you know that it's time to move off. So they give you plenty of warning. Brent said that these are the cutest things in the bush, and he may well be right. Oh, are you exhausted? Have you got a very full stomach, little cub? And the wonderful thing about lion cubs is that they are constantly playing. Michael, you want to know how old the oldest lion is? I think the oldest set of cubs is about coming up to 4 months old. This little one looks like it's a bit younger than that, maybe 3, maybe even younger than that. But the oldest lion will be one of the lionesses, and to be completely honest with you, I don't know how old the oldest lioness is. I believe that one of them is coming up close to 10. Lionesses don't live much longer past about 13 or so in the wild. They may live up to 16 in exceptional circumstances, depending on how much food is available, how big her pride is, but they generally don't live for very long. They're kind of like big dogs in that respect. Aww. Now these lions because there's only 3 lionesses, I'm so distracted by this cub, it's adorable. Because it's just the 3 lionesses, they have only killed a kudu. It's big enough for them to have foolish bellies. But Alex, yes, a lion, if they want to, a lion is capable of killing an elephant, but only in a group, and usually only in a group with males. Because a male lion is about 100 kilograms heavier than the female, if not more, up to 150 kilograms heavier than the female. So they can get up to about 200 to 240 kilograms. Because they're much heavier, they're also much stronger, which means when they hunt with the females, they can help take down bigger prey. Now, there's not many cases in this part of South Africa of lions killing elephants because it's very, very dangerous for them. So they don't want to risk injury unless they are desperate for food. There are cases, especially in Botswana, and it seems as though specific lion prides learn to hunt elephants. So there's cases in Botswana where when it gets really desperate for the lions, they've learnt to hunt elephant, and it's usually young male elephant. Somebody's got scabby knees. Oh, it's a perfect place to sit. Lexi, you wanted to know then, how does an elephant defend itself? Well, usually, because they're so big, they can just chase off the lions. And if it's a member of a herd, if it's a female or a calf, the rest of the elephants will try and chase those lions away. They'll usually help to protect it. But young males that are on the outside of the herd, they don't necessarily get that same level of protection from the rest of the elephants. But an elephant can defend itself by swinging its trunk, and with huge tusks not necessarily tusks, but those that have tusks can use them to hit the lions. But basically, they are up to 5-6 tons in weight. They just need to stand in the direction of a lion, and the lion will run away, because they could easily get hit by the trunk or kicked or squashed. Now this little one isn't quite ready to go hunting any elephants just yet. And welcome, Hayden. I hope you are enjoying this amazing view. That mom looks so irritated with them, climbing all over her. All she wants to do is sleep. Hayden, in terms of how many cubs a lioness can have, they can have up to 6, but they usually, in this area in particular, average around 2 or 3 cubs. Oh, it's bedtime. Nap time for little cubs with full bellies. The first year of a cub's life is when it is at its most vulnerable, especially in those first few weeks when their eyes haven't properly opened, their ears haven't even started to stick up yet, and their moms have to leave them alone in order to go and hunt and find food for herself. And they get left alone, hidden away, because they're too small and too weak to keep up with their mother. And that's the time when that life is most dangerous for a lion cub, because anything could find them. But these guys have been lucky, they have survived, and once they reach a year old, then their survival chances will increase tremendously. Now, Chad, we don't have any white lions that we know of here, but we are in an area where you could potentially see them. Oh, where are you going? Are you going on an adventure? Are you going exploring? What a brave little lion cub. Sorry, Chad, I will answer you properly in a moment. Right, he's off, he's had it. He's gone. Kudu's finished. Oh, I'm going to go and have some space from... Talking to the younger cousin. What are you doing? Sorry, Chad. I got interrupted because there's just too many places to look. We could actually indeed get white lions in this area. Oh, hold on, there's a little cub walking right next to the car. Just look at that. Isn't that incredible? See how comfortable they are with us? They didn't even look at us. Just moving off to go and find the rest of the... Oh! Got company. And our bold lion cub is off on another adventure, leading his younger cousins astray. Where are you going? Looking for some space, I think. Calling. Sorry, Chad. I keep getting interrupted because these lion cubs are just so amazing. Chad, we could get white lions here. So the famous white lions are in the Timbavati area, which is one of our neighbors. Oh, goodness, cubs everywhere. It's one of our neighbors, so the lions could move from the Timbavati to here. And, of course, a white lion is just a normal lion with a strange genetic pattern. So a lion could be this color, tawny-colored, but she might carry the genes for a white lion. And if she mates with another lion with those genes, then there is a chance of a white lion being born. And there's always the possibility that a white lion will be born in this area in the future, but we don't have any at the moment, at least not as far as I know. Look at them all. They're all going on down the road. Now, I mentioned that lions are not the most dangerous of the big five because they usually give you a warning when they are upset or when you're too close. Laken? Yes, I have. Oh, I have been given a warning by lions before. Lots of times, actually. So what we sometimes do is we get out of the car to go and look for lions. So we track them. And even then, sometimes we're just walking in the bush, and you can imagine sometimes you just accidentally find a lion. So I've been warned by lions before, and the very, very important thing to remember is you must never, ever run. Never run from a lion, because as soon as you start to run, they start to realize that they've got the advantage and that you are, and then it makes them think that you are prey. So you never run from a lion. You can walk backwards slowly, but never, ever run. And the truth is that lions are far more afraid of people during the day than we are of them. These guys are just starting to get their adult teeth, their permanent teeth. They have milk teeth, just like you or I. We've got a question about how long a lion's tooth can grow. So the root is as long as the canine tooth itself. So I've been lucky enough to see a lion's tooth before. It is as almost, including the root, it is almost as long as my hand. The tooth part that sticks out is about this long, probably about the length of my finger, but less there. That's how long the tooth part is. And then there's a root to hold that in place that is this long. The lions' canines get really, really big, and they have to have a big, strong root to help to keep the teeth in the jaw, especially when they're trying to use them to catch something like this kudu that she's busy finishing off. And well done, by the way, for our class, for being so brave. I know that some of this is a bit yucky. And Hayden, you are thinking about the lions' comfort, because now they're all sleeping, and you know it's midwinter here. It is quite chilly, and it's a cloudy day, and actually, Hayden, this is the temperature that lions like the most. They like it when it's a bit cooler, because lions get hot very, very easily, especially when they've just eaten, because their whole digestive process, when they're breaking down the meat inside their tummies, it produces a lot of heat. A great deal of heat. It makes them very, very hot, which is why lions usually sleep during the day. But they seem to like the cold weather better. Look at that serious face. It's sort of absent-mindedly scratching its face. It's not even really concentrating on the scratch. This is so cute. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the fact this is the first time I've seen these cubs properly, so I'm really, really excited. I've heard so much about them. It's the first time I've seen them properly. Trent, sorry, let me try and answer your question as we look at this cub's big round belly. Somebody's been gorging themselves. Trent wants to know how much a lion can eat in one sitting. So the amazing thing about all predators, Trent, is that they eat really, really quickly, as much as they can, as quickly as they can, because they never know when they're going to lose that kill to something like a hyena, for example. So all predators, lions, leopards, cheetah, they eat really quickly and they stuff themselves. Even when they are full, they still force themselves to eat. A lioness can eat up to 20 kilograms of meat in terms of when she finishes off a meal. She might not eat it all in one go, but that's a lot. Think about how much that is. But she'll eat that over about a period of about 3 days, maybe even less, because in this case she's had to share a kudu with two other lionesses and a whole bundle of cubs. And hello to Sky. I don't know where to look. I'm looking everywhere. I'm trying to have eyes in the back of my head. Sky, it's wonderful to have your question. You wanted to know how old a lion cub would be before it leaves its mom. If it's a female, Sky, it might never leave its mom. It'll actually stay in her pride. There we've got them. Look, already showing signs of plenty of independence. Quite happy to go wandering down the road and sleep there. That's because lions are social cats. Their bonds between the family members are really, really close. So a pride is actually made up of females and their sisters, aunts, mothers, cousins. It'll be a whole group of females. But if a cub is a male, then at about 2.5, 3, sometimes even up to 3.5 years old is when they get kicked out of the pride. And sometimes they don't even want to leave, but their moms no longer tolerate them in the area, and their dads don't tolerate them in an area. We always think of a pride of lions as being a male with some females, and that's not actually how lions work. The females are part of the pride. Females and their babies are a pride, and then you get males that move through an area that have a territory with the females, but they are something completely separate. Now, they are called a coalition. Might be one single male, or it might, if it's lots of males, then it's called a coalition of males. And a coalition of males can have lots of different prides that they spend time with. Oh, kick to the face. Oh, now smack with the tail, just to finish it off. You got to be tough if you're a lion cub. Sure, Connor has asked a really, really good question, which is how many types of animals do we have in the Sabi Sands? Oh, Connor, so many. I'm actually not even sure how to begin to count because, of course, we've got all of the mammal species and we've probably got up to about 20 different types of antelope. Then we've got all the big cats, so now you're looking at maybe 25, including hyenas and wild dogs, and then you go up to 30, including things like elephants and buffalo and giraffe. But that's just the mammal species. But in terms of animals, we've also got over 300 different types of birds and lots and lots. Too many insects for me to even tell you how many insects we have. I don't even know how many insects we have. And then there's the snakes and the crocodiles and the rock monitors. But we've got so many different types of animals. Now, we're really lucky because we're sitting with lions and we're sitting with lion cubs and a kill. And that's really, really exciting. But it's important to remember that it's not, being in the African bush is not just about the sightings like the lions or the leopards or the elephants. It's also about the small things as well. It's about learning about the insects and the trees and the way that everything interacts with each other. So we've got lots and lots of different types of animals. I couldn't even begin to count how many we have. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands even, including the insects. Our lovely lady is finished eating. She's got a very round belly, and she's going to go and find somewhere to sleep. She's probably going to... She's going to go up to that other lioness. It looks like it. Oh, no. She can't even make it that far. She's too full. Her belly is too heavy. Now, this pride is called the Styx pride. But we've got lots of different prides in the Sabi Sand. Michael L. was wondering just how many different lions we have. If I had to guess, give me a second, Michael L. I'm just trying to work it out. So the Sabi Sand is about 60,000 hectares, give or take, and about approximately every 4,000 hectares there's a lion pride. So I don't know exactly. I'm just trying to work out a good number, a good estimate for you. Let's say... I'm sorry, I'm still trying to do maths, but I'm distracted by a sleeping cub. It's very difficult to do maths when you're thinking about other things. Now, there's probably a good, maybe 150 odd lions in the Sabi Sand, but I'll think about that and I'll try and give you a proper answer in a moment. Hayden, a really lovely question coming through from you, which is, how big is a lion's brain and does it use it all? Which is a very good question because, no, they generally don't. They're very instinctive animals. They hunt, they sleep, they're not... In experiments that they've done, it shows that they're not necessarily problem solvers. They're clever in their own way. They're clever in terms of surviving. They're clever... I want to see what these cubs are doing as well. I don't want to turn my back on them for a second. They're clever in terms of survival and looking after themselves and each other. And their instincts are incredible. But they are not problem solvers in the same way that we traditionally think of something being clever, like a chimpanzee or a gorilla or even an elephant or a hyena. Lions can't really solve problems. But that doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that their brain gets used for different things. Chandra, sorry. I know we're looking at these cubs, but can we look at this cub now? Sorry. It's busy having a bath. And it's just too cute. It's bath time. And sorry, Hayden, just to finish off your question, a lion's brain is about roughly the size of a tennis ball, just to give you an idea. So it's, despite the fact that their heads are enormous, their brains are just a little bit larger than a tennis ball, mostly protected by the thick skull. Alex, how does a male lion know that he is the father of a cub? Well, Alex, once a male lion has established a territory, his territory will include a couple of different females, and he will know which females he has mated with. Now, even if the cub isn't his, even if he isn't the father, he will still think that he is the father because he knows that he has mated with that female, or he knows that his brothers, or part of his coalition, one of them has mated with that female, so he accepts the cub as his own. Might not be, but he thinks that it is, and therefore he is towards not actively protecting it, as in males don't really care for the lion cubs much, but he does make sure that he keeps the territory safe from other male lions that might come in. If this is a female cub, this bond with its mother will last for the rest of its life. Alexi, we speak about the different members of the Big Five now, and Alexi would like to know what is bigger, a male or a female buffalo. The answer is, Alexi, a male buffalo, and they are much bigger than the females. The females are big, but males are much, much bigger. A big male buffalo can even reach almost up to a ton. Not quite, but almost up to a ton in weight. They are huge animals. Very important not to see them just as cows. They are very big, wild animals. Talking to Mom. Oh, Mom, don't want my stomach washed. Don't want my stomach washed. I want to play. Pretend I'm hunting you. This is so cute. Now, big cats are true characters. Now, these females have had a hard time. These little cubs are the first litter of cubs that they have had in a year. And very, very sadly, the last litter was actually killed by the male lions that are now the fathers of these cubs. And it might seem really sad, it might seem really rough for us from a human perspective, but that's just the way that lions work. They're not governed by the same rules that human beings are. They just act on instinct. Oh, so many big bellies and so many exhausted little lion cubs. This is one of the younger ones. Interesting, some of them have got a skin disease. Speaking of the male lions, I said that they've got lots of work they need to do in terms of defending their territory, but Sky wants to know where the male lions are. And the answer, Sky, is that they're spread out right now. So they don't spend all of their time with the females. They spend a lot of time with each other and quite a lot of time walking around, roaring, scent marking, so in other words, spraying their pee on the bushes to make sure that no other male lions come through. So right now, Sky, one is about, I would say, about 1.5 kilometers away from this. Oh. Okay, this is going to be very difficult. I can't move the car right now because I've got lion cubs everywhere. Oh, luckily she hasn't gone too far away. Oh, well, we enjoy the lions clambering all over this lioness, and we're going to stay here for as long as possible. We're going to send you back across to Brent because, as I said, some of the learning is about different things, not just lions, leopards, and elephants. So let's go see what he has to teach you. I still cannot believe that we are sitting here in this sighting alone. we've got this incredible moment all to ourselves. Just listen to these cubs. Oh, or you could all choose this one moment to go quiet. This poor mom, at one point I counted 5 or 6 cubs attempting to suckle from her at one time. And she is allo-suckling. In other words, she's suckling cubs from 2 different litters. One that's probably her own, and then the other that isn't. We've got one large lion cub that managed to squeeze its way in there and have a drink. And and then a couple of the slightly smaller, slightly younger ones. Oh, this one is still intently focused. And it has done very, very well to manage to keep onto that nipple because it's been absolute chaos, as you can see. Oh, dislodge. Oh, back again as quickly as possible before that nipple is stolen away from it. How utterly irresistible are these cubs? I can't help feeling sorry for that poor lioness. She's just got cubs attached to her. She rolled over and there were just cubs rolling with her. Around contented bellies everywhere we look. I mentioned earlier when we were on the school drive that I've noticed quite a few of them have got some kind of skin infection. Before we go too much into it, I'd like to do a bit of research before we talk about exactly what it be. I've always noticed that with the Styx females, that they almost certainly have TB. We often see them with a little bit of blood running from their noses. Now that sounds terrible. It sounds really, really bad, especially for new viewers, but never fret. Tuberculosis is a naturally occurring disease, but a lot of the animals out here carry it. And they just are just that. They carry it. They sometimes manifest minor symptoms, but it only impacts them in a hugely negative way if they have lost condition. So if they are hungry for some reason or injured. You see there's lots of patchy parts of their skin. I don't know if it's... And they're obviously, I mean, this cub's very, very itchy. And it's nothing to be hugely concerned about. It's just a naturally occurring skin disease that they seem to have acquired. Which is what gives them the patchy, scabby bits around their elbows and their joints, and especially around this cub's face, and the balding patches. This one's not so bad. I noticed it's worse on some of the younger cubs. Oh, show me, you itchy little one. And all of them have found their place. The pushing and shoving for now has come to an end. And we are getting to enjoy our very first proper sighting with the Styx cubs. All 8 of them present and accounted for. And thoroughly well fed. And hello to Vicky in Chicago, who wants to know whether or not we can tell the difference or tell the sex of the lion cubs yet. Yes, we can. I'm trying to look for a good example to show you, but we can now start to tell the difference. Obviously, their testicles for the young males haven't dropped yet, haven't descended yet, so it is a bit more tricky than it might be on a slightly older cub, but you will be able to, on close examination of their genital area, you will be able to see a slight difference in terms of shape and positioning of the either penis or vaginal area and the rectum. So you'll see it in terms of where they're positioned underneath the tail. And there you go, we've got an example there. So the cub on the right, if we have a slightly closer look, I'm trying to work out exactly what it is. My suspicion is that is actually a male, just in terms of the positioning of the genitals and the anus. I think that might be a male. It is hard, it is tricky to tell initially in their first stages, but it does get easy very quickly because the males start to get fluffy heads within a couple of months. And then, of course, their testicles descend, and it becomes a great deal easier to tell the difference between the 2 of them. Oh, you guys are getting very comfortable. And of course, one thing we hope for whenever we see lions like this, I don't know what I personally hope for. I don't know that I could actually put this opinion onto everyone. And personally, I would love to see lots of females in this, and the same with the Nkuhumas, particularly after, with all of the chaos and the trials and the tribulations of the two prides that we see with the Birmingham Boy takeover. It would be nice to see a recovery of their numbers. The Styx Pride lost all of their cubs last year, and there's only the 3 of them at the moment. The Styx Pride is a bit confusing because they've got breakaways, and I'm not entirely sure because some of the different lodges call the different breakaway prides a completely separate name. But it would be very nice to have a group of females. But then, of course, you also don't want one poor lone male that ends up in a position like Julia, where he has to go and wander off and try and find a friend to help ensure his survival. Maybe, I don't know, in an ideal world, you have 3 males and the rest females. Just flights of fancy. Now, Shamsun, the one thing that the male cubs will absolutely not be allowed to do is join their father's, earpiece about to fall off, is join their father's coalition. There's absolutely no way they'll be allowed to do that, which makes sense, because if you think about what a coalition is about, it's about passing on the genetics. So if they were to join their father's coalition, they would end up inevitably mating with their mothers, sisters, cousins, and so on. So it's a system that prevents inbreeding. So no, their fathers will not permit them to join their coalition. There are 1 or 2 weird recorded cases of that happening, but you can see how ideally nature wouldn't want that to be allowed to happen. So they go off on their own. If there are males of a similar age in a group, then almost inevitably they leave together and they form a coalition together. If it's just one lone male, then he'll go off on his own when he is forced to. They often stick around a bit longer than the groups of males because they don't have any support system. It's a scary, big, wide world out there to be a lone male lion. It's a dangerous time of their lives. But if they've got cousins or brothers, they will absolutely form a coalition. But don't be fooled into thinking that all male coalitions are related to each other. As I said with Junior, he's been trying to find himself a buddy. You're going to sit here. Oh, sorry, let me finish that sentence. I got distracted. Let's finish that sentence. Male coalitions can also be formed by completely unrelated males. Right, we're going to sit here for the last few moments of the sunrise safari. While we do, I know that Brent would like to say a quick farewell.
I don't want to keep you away from those lion cubs for too long. So from Dangerous Dave, the objectified dish, and myself, it's been a pleasure having you on the Sunrise Safari, and I've come to a realization my cat streak has ended. This is the first drive that I haven't had a cat. I'm going to have to rectify that and start again on the Sunset Safari. So let's not waste any time and send you back to those gorgeous little lion cubs.
Oh, woe is Brent. His cat streak has come to an end. He's going to be utterly insufferable when we get back to camp this morning. No, I'm joking. I'm sure his cat streak will be back with a vengeance this afternoon. We might see. Maybe I might even let him take Rusty to come and enjoy this particular sighting, because you have to admit, it is utterly irresistible. And sleeping lion cubs. I think this is all 8 of them now. I can't even begin to do a head count because I can't see all of them bundled underneath each other, but I did count 8 earlier, so all 8 are present and accounted for. And I think this is what they're going to be doing for the rest of the time here. They might go for a drink. They're not far from 3 in a row Pan, so hopefully if they do decide to go for a drink, they'll go north and not south into Mala Mala. We'll just have to hope that they decide to stick around. I mean, the carcass, let me just reposition slightly so we can see the carcass as well. Okay, little ones. Not even one or 2 heads bobbed up, but other than that, no real. Let me see how we can do this with both. Can you get her there and have the cubs as well? There's a tree in the way. How tragic. Oof, I'm pushing my luck here. A little bit. No, I can't really. Well, I suppose I could just plant myself in the middle. It's okay, little one. It's alright. We stopped here. I can't really do too much, but as you can see, most of the kill has now been finished off, and there's really just the scraps that the female is feeding off. I think there's a chance that they might have moved by this afternoon, but hopefully they decided to go to water. It's also quite cool today, so they might be more mobile than they would otherwise be if it were 40 degrees. But prospects for this afternoon